tell you about my next guest. His name is Conor Lynch. He's a digital innovator and educator. And listen to this. He had his own personal brand website in 1999. 1999, think about this. He then built and grew his digital agency, Connector, from a project into a 7-figure business, which was acquired by Granite Digital. And he has such experience in building global brands. He's trained thousands and thousands of professionals, and he has a new book out called Learn, Earn, Own. Conor, welcome to Late Lunch.
Thank you very much, Gerry.
Thanks for being with me, because the topic today and this book covers it. AI is everywhere, as you know, Conor.
Yeah.
And what you're going to talk to me about today is AI in the context of the workplace. Now, let's begin at the beginning. So I'm looking for a job. I'm going for a job. Totally different landscape in a matter of just a few short years.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one of the big concerns is since the advent of ChatGPT only about 3 years ago, there's been a 1/3 reduction in the number of graduate roles that are available and advertised. So the bottom rung of the ladder has been pretty much taken away for 1/3 of graduates. So that's graduates. So they've gone to a lot of effort, to 4 years in college, perhaps. It's at a lot of expense, and their start has been taken away, because even in software now can be, there's tools where you can prompt, ask AI to write you software. So something that used to be highly technical and very, very hard to get into. So there's a lot of these entry-level jobs are disappearing. So the career ladder, my point is, the career ladder is broken. It's been broken for a long time. It's 100 years old. And now you can really see that the bottom rungs are being taken away. And so people really need to start thinking, okay, what is the way forward? Is it, if you just think about jobs, you're heading into a troubled marketplace. You need new ideas.
And that is all driven by AI alone. That's what's removed this.
It's it's been a long continuum. This is the third consumer technology mega trend that I've experienced in my career, because I'm in my early 50s. So the first one was the internet, and that was in the 90s. The internet, then it was social media about the mid 2000s, and now AI and automation is the third massive mega trend. These technologies make things a lot more convenient for people to use and to communicate with each other, etc. But it's getting to a stage now where it's taking over the jobs. It's able to do the work. It's able to do tasks. It's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So this is the most worrying advance in technology, because it's jobs are being shed all over the place. And then, as I mentioned, the ability to get started is shrinking for 1/3 of the graduates, who you think would be the finest, out there. And maybe they're all technology. They're strong with technology, and they have to kind of find a new way forward.
So basically what you're saying to me, the day of, there's this point to this, let me ask you this, that if you qualify in an area or study in an area, that's pretty, unique and just with the one emphasis on it, let's say.
Yes,
one
exactly,
emphasis,
yes.
You're trained for one skill or whatever.
Yes.
That's over.
Yeah, it's people describe it as you're moving from the age of being a specialist to being a generalist.
That's it.
Yes. So if you you just do one thing, you are less. Your chances are reduced than if you do several things. Now, throughout my career, I always did several things, just because I was curious, But it actually worked out really well, and that is now the way forward for more people, to do more things, to have multiple skills. And multiple passions. You're actually hedging your bets than being just specialising in one area that may get hit hardest by AI.
So what does that mean then for those seeking jobs, those going to third level? The CEO process is ongoing at the moment.
Yeah.
And what way do they need to rethink?
Yeah. So one of the biggest trends alongside this is the amount of free education that's available online is mind-blowing. And the power of education and personalised education, you can use AI to teach yourself anything, and it can give you a training program. So it's one would have to question the validity of spending a lot of money to go for formal education if at the end of it you're going to get a qualification and 1/3 of you won't get a job or won't get qualified in that area. So when you could actually acquire a lot of skills, a lot of education for free, if you're motivated enough to do some self-study and use the tools to advance yourself, but with a plan. That's what the book is all about, is really just getting people to stop and think and, okay, reevaluate everything. No matter whether you're starting off or you're starting over or you want to start up something, the book addresses all of those areas.
So in a way, where AI is taking away, it's giving on the other hand.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And
if you've got the growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. If you're a fixed mindset, I'm afraid of technology, I don't like technology, I don't want to do this, you could be in trouble. But if you have a growth mindset, think, okay, here's an opportunity. I'm going to grow. I can learn this. I'm smart. I'm ambitious. I'm talented. I can take on this challenge. And then you've got huge opportunities. On the other hand.
Yes. So that is a very important message that you're sending today and contained within the covers of this book. Something you mentioned as I've been reading about your book and what you do is that there's a record disengagement in the workplace today.
Exactly.
Can we go on to this?
Sure.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this is research that's annual research by Gallup, who are very well recognised. So there's up to 45% of workers globally, so these are people who have jobs, are disengaged to some extent at work. So Gerry, you clearly like your work and you're great at it, but there's a lot of people who just go through the motions. They don't really like it, but they don't know what else to do, so they just hang around and they're frustrated, maybe stressed, etc. But some of them would like to leave, but don't know how to leave. They're stuck on the career ladder. They've got the golden handcuffs. They're not quite sure how to do something else. They think that you have to pack it all in and then try and start again and set up a big tech company. Whereas the book shows you can do all of this at once. You can do things on the side. You can use AI prompts from the book, put that into my free web app tools, and ask it for career ideas. So it gives you career ideas for your CV. What else could you do with your career? And you can do these on the side without packing in the job. So the job, it's not about the future of work is not about having one job. It's about having a portfolio of things that you're up to.
So this will be the significant change that this drives forward. In other words, again, coming back to upskilling yourself in many facets that you can then use to earn from different streams.
Exactly.
So in the States years ago, you'd hear about people, I have to work 4 jobs to keep the show on the road or that.
Exactly.
It's a similar thing.
Yeah, I've actually modelled all of that. So I'm moving from linear careers to multi-linear careers. So I've got all this ready. It's in the book and it'll be in the workshops, etc. So that thinking is multitasking, doing a few different things. But it's not about working more and working 80 hours a week. It's about owning more. It's about owning your personal brand, owning some of your projects, owning more of your work. That's what it's about. Not about doing 80 hours a week, which I did in the past. And I don't want to get back to that. But you do when you're on there's a very famous quote from Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. And he says your 20s are for learning, your 30s are for earning, and your 40s are for owning. And I thought that's a great quote, and it inspired me a bit. But I think you need to learn, earn, and own today. You can't be hanging around waiting. So in the book, it kind of helps you get started. Do some little learning projects, experiments. You can experiment today. You can learn something. Everything I did in my career was a little experiment, and some of them worked out, and some of them didn't. But in the book, I tell, by Connector. You mentioned Connectors. That was a meetup. That was a group of friends of mine meeting up, and I said, let's call this Connector. And so we met up. And then I wrote about it in a blog, and then I built it up. And the next thing is 10 years later, it was doing $1 million a year and working for Huawei, working for Sony, working for L'Oreal, working for Volkswagen. And I decided I've had enough of this particular phase of my career. But that was an asset, a career asset that I built. And I explain how anybody can create career assets. Assets are not about just for the wealthy. It's career assets, digital content, digital products. They're so accessible now. That's the point of the book.
The whole area of work and the way we work as well is also something you address. And the way we work changed irretrievably, I could say, nearly
Yes.
from COVID.
Yes.
Now, I know
Yeah, yeah,
organisations are trying to roll back,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm particularly talking about remote working,
yeah,
people not being in the office all the time, presenteeism,
yeah,
overseeing.
yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think they want. They're encouraging people to come back in, but once you get a freedom of not having to spend 2 or 3 hours a day commuting, it's very hard to roll back on that. But um, I think just look after your job. If you have a job, keep it. It's not about quitting your job. It's about using your job as a platform to do other things. But if you are at home and you've got a couple of days at home working at home, fantastic opportunity to use your lunchtime. To make a couple of calls, or to use your commute time to get started on a learning project, to start working on something. But in the long term, it's about losing the employee dependency mindset and start being more having a little bit more thought about self-employment, doing your own thing, and independence. What can I do to make myself independent, so I'm not freaking out and worried about the next layoffs, that they're not going to hit me.
So not being reliant on a single income stream,
Exactly,
not being in an industry or a job where you are totally exposed, as you say, when the chill winds blow, which they could in the near future from the States or anywhere.
Absolutely, yeah.
This leaves you insulated, really.
Yeah, there's a very famous saying from the very wise Chinese, but it's dig a well before you get thirsty. So people need to get cracking on preparing for the future of work, because it's here right now, and if it hasn't hit you yet, it's going to. Plus, even if you prefer to climb the career ladder yourself, having these extra projects will give you more skills and help you rise the ladder faster. So that's what I found. That's why I was doing projects on the side. I was learning social media, I was learning video, and I got promoted. I could move jobs and move up the ladder because of those skills. So create high value skills is going to stand to you no matter what you do. And you can work in employment, you can try something out on the side in the evenings and weekends, and then you can jump between both. That's what's available to people nowadays. And it's not just this singular, linear, and waiting for permission to do things and getting a pat on the head. And the career ladder actually is leading nowhere. So I created the assets ladder to show how the two connect together.
It's terrific. The book is called Learn, Earn, Own. We're going to take a short break. Would you like to own a copy of this book by the wonderful Conor Lynch? I want to give you a copy today to give away to one of you. And this is on the money, let me tell you. Today, tomorrow, and into the future for what we're talking about here. The question is this. It's very difficult. What does the initials AI stand for? Because it's a big part of what's happening in this world and into the future. I can't make it any simpler. What does AI stand for? For a copy of the book from Conor, 086 1800 658 by WhatsApp or text. And we're going to talk more about work and all else besides after this short break. Conor Lynch is with me. He's built a massive business and sold it on, and he works with thousands of professionals to coach them and teach them about where the world of work is and is going with ChatGPT and AI involved. His new book is called Learn, Earn, Own. Learn more, earn more, and own more as well. A different way of working, to be honest with you. Can I ask you this? The future of work. What do you see about the future of work? Of course, this is changing, as you know, by the new time, by the day as well. What do people have to be? What are the traits, just to go back to those again, that people must have, going forward?
Yeah, it's skills, high value skills. You got to make yourself smarter, more desirable than the next person. So if you need to do a bit of self-study, upload your CV into my web app and kind of and ask it about what should you be doing, what direction could I go in. It does analysis on market trends, where's employment going, so you can find out, okay, where should I pitch myself. Career coaching is now within AI, so everybody can do their own career management, etc. There is trends from the quotes from the founder of LinkedIn, which is about 1 billion people using that. So this guy knows a lot about the future of work, and he's saying that by 2030, 50% of workers in the US will be independent, will be freelancers, will be consultants. So there's going to be a big push of people out the door. and the OECD has said something similar. So people are going to find it between now and the next 4 or 5 years. There's going to be a lot more of them have to be independent, have to be start looking at themselves as independent workers and try and find clients and then try and do multiple things and have a portfolio career, and that's what it's all about. So you need to be aware of these and have a cold shower and just get ready to hustle, because as I said earlier, the lower rungs on the ladder are disappearing. You need to take ownership of your career.
And that is the bottom line here. The day of, a job being there for you, in this rapidly changing world, there will still be, we understand that in the services industry, in the hospitality, in healthcare and all that type of thing. Yeah. Of course, you're going to have all those. For sure.
Yeah, there is a lot of robotics in many countries.
Even coming into those areas too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh God, there you are. You're not immune. If it was giving you a little bit of solace today, Conor says, come on, there will be change there too.
There are changes, but there is a little bit of pushback because people prefer dealing with people. So I think having good communication skills, being able to get on with people, being able to communicate well. So these are great skills to have no matter what area you're in. Also, being aware of where the market's going and being aware of AI, being aware of automation, try and be the one in your team if you've got a job that embraces where this is going and come back to your boss or your manager with ideas on how we could implement some of these technologies in your workplace and be the champion of that. So you'll be the one kept on if there are any changes. So it's I don't like to be the bearer of these messages, but the book is about hope. It's about action.
Yes.
It's not about wallowing and telling people, we're all doomed. It's not a big doom loop. So I'm a very positive person, but there are challenges, but you have to embrace those challenges. And not everyone wants the challenge. Some people just want to retire and move on. But maybe you've got kids, grandkids, nieces and nephews that you think, well, actually, I'm a little bit concerned about them. I might get them a little book that'll be on their desk, and they can have that for a lifetime of checking in. The reviews are very, very good, and people are
top class.
Yeah, and people are saying that it's actually a great reference book. It's all about action. It's just about taking action. Put it down and okay, I need to do this. I don't want people to read a book and say that's it. It's all about action. It's all about action, and momentum brings confidence. Because if you're stuck, even if you make baby steps, it just gets you moving.
Yes.
That's what
Don't be stuck. Don't dig in your heels either and say, I'm not doing that, because somebody else will do it. I can guarantee to you that. Just a little aside, educational facilities and trainers especially, and AI and, students and that. I've been talking to the LMETB, for example, in this area, Louthmead. They're fantastic people. And they now don't just train people in streams, they ask employers what they need. That's a great policy from an educational point of view.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This is critical.
It's critical. That's the way it has to be delivered.
Absolutely, yeah. I trained and run courses for Maynooth University like 13, 14 years ago, before the university staff knew what social media was. I was self-trained.
90 seconds.
Lecturing there for a couple of years, and bringing the students on a journey where they learn about digital and social, and then and off they went. But I find in my research that there is a little bit of a gap. I'm not trying to replace all career education.
Yes.
I just think there's a bit of a gap in how do you navigate employment plus self-employment in the age of AI, and how do you take more ownership of your career and not be dependent on somebody else looking after you.
Leave those words with our listeners today. The book is called Learn, Earn, Own. Where can this be got?
You can go to Amazon and just search for that title and my name, Conor Lynch, and it will be available in other stores, bookstores, but they just have to request it for you.
Okay,
so go
that's
to
all right.
Stores. It's
Amazon is the place to get it as well, and keep
exactly.
an eye out for it. It's terrific. We have a copy to give away. Lots of people want a hold of this book, and we'll pick somebody before the end of the show. It's been enlightening, refreshing, and thank you so much for being my guest today on the show.
Thank you so much,
Conor Lynch. Thanks a million.